we're going to bring on Sam.
Let's do it.
And Sam is a product manager. You've heard her at convention. She's an expert when it comes to oils and blends specifically. So Sam, come on up. Let's talk vanilla. You got them all up because there's so there's a lot.
There's a few.
Okay.
There are a few, yes, but I'm excited to talk with you guys a little bit more about the changes. We'll go into detail. We have some slides up, so we'll start talking through. Just click here, yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so let's get into the details of the changes. So I'm just gonna, kind of be pretty fact-based about this, if that's all right, and then we can dive into each ingredient deck and even smell the blends.
Can I say this too?
Yeah.
Don't worry about taking a picture of this or screenshotting. We're going to provide all this for you. Okay. I want you to listen. Okay. We're good.
Thanks. Yeah. Yeah. So we have our Motivate, Passion, Cheer, Serenity, and Citrus Bliss. So those are all the blends that are changing. We're adding in our new Madagascar vanilla and tweaking a few of the different ingredients in there because the Madagascar vanilla smells a little more round, soft than our previous vanilla that we were sourcing. So we have had to tweak a few ingredients for aroma, but also for benefits, which I really am excited to get into. And we'll talk more about that with our special guest, Laura, in a few minutes.
Yes.
So there's just a couple of facts on here to walk you through. The new vanilla is an SFE, which means supercritical fluid extraction. So it's an SFE absolute extracted with CO2 extraction. So there's a little more information on there for you. And like Simone said, this will be sent out to you guys. So you'll have all this information, all these facts. And then talking a little bit more about why we want to improve our global impact. We want to, just really increase our sourcing supplier scores even. For those who attended convention last year, you probably heard Tim Valentino talking a little bit about the new sourcing scoring cards. And our suppliers are now being scored on similar ranks to you guys with silver, gold, and diamond, which is really exciting. You're probably familiar with those.
We want diamonds and we would have
all
double.
diamonds, double diamonds.
Yes.
Every supplier double diamond, and that is a challenging rank to hit, even as distributors. Right? It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of effort. So we are kind of adjusting where we're sourcing things to work with partners that are getting closer and are willing to adjust to that diamond scorecard, which is pretty incredible.
Awesome.
And that also has some incredible co-impact too, which kind of adds that scorecard. So let's get into each blend. We'll smell them as well. Yeah.
I think I'm gonna take off.
Okay, sounds
Although
good.
I think I have a good nose for this.
You smelled these enough.
I smelled it enough. We're gonna bring on the real expert.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, so Laura, if you want to come on out. We've had the pleasure of sitting down with Laura this week and talking through each one of these blends. We're really excited. And we're going to kind of dive into each one. I would love your thoughts as we talk about.
Awesome.
One
I'm excited.
Yeah, it's really exciting. So Serenity, I've got our little lab labeled bottles, kind of fun. So the benefits have stayed the same, if not improved. We've added coriander, tonka bean, and vanilla. Coriander was swapped out with hoe wood. And like we talked about the other day, the chemistry of coriander is very similar, if not, I think a little bit better than hoe wood. It's really high in linalool, which is, if anybody knows or is familiar with that, it's commonly found in lavender. And we all know what lavender does, help calm you down.
Clary sage.
Yeah,
right?
clary
Yes.
sage. It's incredible. So what I'm really excited about with this is the chemistry, I think, just has really been boosted. So I want to know what you think. So you've had a chance to smell them. You want
I've
to smell them
smelled both
again?
of them.
Yeah.
Well, I want to smell the new one again.
Okay, deal.
I mean, I smelled so many after a while, you're like, it smells different than the last time I
Your
smelled it,
nose goes a
which
little
is
blank.
what's interesting. So one of the things I want to invite is when you have your first opportunity to smell these blends, if you smell only through the orifice of the bottle, not all the molecules escape with equality. So you're not going to necessarily smell the full aroma. So I would suggest putting it on you or even diffusing it that first time so you can really experience the full chemistry. When I smelled it a couple times, and the first time I smelled more of the dominant a note of like Roman chamomile when I smelled the old one, right? But then when I smelled the new one, I had a different experience. And, we're all more familiar with coriander anyways, because we use it often. We're not that familiar with hoe wood, so we don't really know what we're losing, but we definitely know what we're gaining. And hey, if it makes you sleep even better than already, hey, why not, right?
Right.
Because
I love
coriander
it.
is so relaxing and there are so many robust benefits to that additional ingredient.
Yeah.
So as we played with it, I also wore the blends. And so I had Serenity on both my forearms.
Yeah, you were all
And
swatched up.
and I smelled them for hours afterwards. So I could really see how they wore and how they flashed off. And I felt like they actually smelled really equivalent. So as far as
incredible.
maintaining the aroma. And, you guys did a great job of surveying participants as to their number one ways of using these. And you determined that of all these blends, the number one by far most common usage was diffusing.
Yeah,
And so
absolutely.
that was important to us to partake of the aromas you've created from that perspective, but we also wore them
Yeah.
to see how they were. And we thought these were nearly exactly the same. And I think we had a universal consensus on that,
Yeah,
didn't we?
Yeah,
Right?
I think so.
So yeah, I'm excited about this Serenity and with that change up with the ingredient. I don't feel like there's going to be any loss when it comes to benefits, but only gains. And I think aromatically, you guys did an amazing job of achieving a similar aroma.
Thank you. Well, that is a compliment coming from you. I
Oh,
appreciate it.
good job.
Thanks. So this was, to give you a little bit more background on the project too, this was a 2-year, it's not a little bit more long project that we took on. It wasn't something that we decided overnight, oh, we're going to switch them out and do it in 2 months and make all these blends. I think we went through probably 50 or so iterations of each blend. So it's
Incredible.
been a lot of work to really bring you guys better products. And like you said, we did survey leaders back in 2019, silvers and above, and asked, how do you use these blends? And the primary use was aromatic.
Right.
So we really wanted to make sure that these are created for optimal aromatic use.
I love it.
All right, so we will get into Citrus Bliss next. So you can kind of take a look at the ingredient decks here. We wanted to improve and add more limonene that we know really gives us positive, uplifting, happy benefits, aromatically especially. So we've added red mandarin, green mandarin, lime, litsea, and then the tonka and vanilla. So this one's an incredible one. I know this one was one of the trickier ones.
Yeah.
And I know when we
I
even
agree.
talked about it,
Yeah.
it's not this one we probably went through. I mean, I know we said 50 iterations. This
Let's
one
see how it
probably was
smells
60
today,
or
shall
so.
we?
Yeah, let me know what you think.
Yes. So for me, not to interrupt, are you done? I
No,
don't wanna
yeah,
interrupt
please,
you.
yeah.
So for me, there's a different note rising out of the Citrus Bliss, especially out of the bottle,
Mhm.
and it's a more dominance of the Litsea. So that's going to be a little bit of a surprise for people who are used to that creamsicle smell from Citrus Bliss. But let me just declare my stance, which may or may not be similar to my fellow wellness advocates, but I'm really super into impact, right? So I love that we're changing up the Madagascar vanilla because it means a lot for impact on the other side of the bottle
Yeah.
for our growers, and to be so true to our sustainability and our quality commitments. On this side, well, if Citrus Bliss worked better for someone in a world where mental and emotional health needs are so rampant, would that be of worth to you, right? Even if I'm just going to tell you the aroma is different for me.
Yeah.
And the Litsea is a dominant aroma. So out of the bottle, I smell Litsea more than perhaps I would even want to.
Mhm.
As I wore it around, I felt like I got more of that predictable Citrus Bliss aroma that I'm used to. Again, I could still smell that edge. But hey, here's the thing. If you want to restore your creamsicle experience, add a little Madagascar and bring some of that tangerine back into your diffusing experience, if
I
that's
love
your
that.
primary usage, and you can still make it your own, because aromas are very personal.
Yeah, I totally agree. I love that. I think that's a great tip. And I will say one thing. So speaking with our perfumer who created all of these, Litsea helps kind of hold citruses, because citruses are so volatile. They oxidize really quickly. They flash off
Yes.
very quickly. So Litsea kind of helps hold it in the diffuser longer.
So I see
So-
a bundle of balloons, and
Mhm.
Litsea is the hand, and
Yeah.
otherwise all those citrus
They're
balloons will
gonna
be flying
they're gonna
off.
be gone
right? I
really
like it.
quickly.
I
Yeah.
think that's brilliant.
Yeah. So one thing that we have found with the new Citrus Bliss is that it lasts longer in new diffuser than other
Nice.
citrus blends, which is really exciting. And then the old citrus.
And I
Bliss.
just want to acknowledge, sometimes as distributors, we can be a little bit intense in our feedback. And so I would invite us to all mitigate when we really appreciate, what were your primary motives and goals, and that you've worked so hard, like 2.5 years to get these blends right. Hello, that's a long time.
Yeah.
It's
Well, I
a lot of
appreciate that.
dedication to making it right. So thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And we want your guys' feedback, of course, but it kind of makes me think of something that, we talked about yesterday. This is a change that does have to happen.
Yeah.
Our
It's non-negotiable.
Yeah, exactly. Our current vanilla supplier, they're just not, cutting
They're
it.
not diamonds.
They're
people.
not
We want
diamonds.
diamond vanilla
Yes.
producers. So they found us a diamond.
Yeah, so that's what we're adding into these new blends is that what will soon to be our diamond vanilla producer. And we really want to emphasize that it's non-negotiable. Quality for us is non-negotiable, which for me, working at doTERRA is probably my favorite thing.
Same.
It's pretty empowering. I love that.
Integrity is everything, right?
Yeah.
Because as Dr. Hill taught us, purity is what creates potency.
I love
right?
that. Yeah, I love it. Okay, we'll go on to the next. So next we have Passion. Now I will say one thing with passion. I think we have converted a few passion on the fencers into passion lovers.
Yeah. So just to echo, I'm passionate about passion. Always have been, never been an issue. But I was always surprised at the number of people who, shall we say, took offense to the aroma of
Yeah.
passion. I was always perplexed by that. So my initial response to this one was just like you saw. I mean, it's euphoric. It's always been amazing, but to me, it's actually gone up some notches in
I
euphoria.
love that.
And just to be honest, they upped the jasmine. The jasmine has moved up the ladder
Mhm.
as far as ingredients go, and it's maybe slightly more feminine and softer. I just actually really love it. It's
Well,
amazing.
And
So
we've
thank you.
added Lang Lang, which I know
Yes.
has kind of that euphoric aphrodisiac.
And
kind
they're
of-
to me, the ylang ylang and jasmine, first of all, they're two of my favorites. A lot of my favorite
Incredible.
oils are in here. And they're kind of similar,
Yeah.
right? They're like sister smells to me. And I think you've done an amazing job with this blend.
Good, I'm
I
so
am
glad.
passionate. I'm more passionate about passion.
I love that.
Yes.
So really quick, just to recap the ingredients we've added Lang Lang, wild orange, magnolia leaf, lemon, bergamot, and then the tonka bean and vanilla.
And I love
CO2.
the addition of the magnolia. I mean, honestly, if you're looking for an aphrodisiac libido blend, hello.
Could be.
It's got some yummy stuff in there,
I
right?
love it. Okay. All right. And then next up, we have Motivate. So this one, I will say, and we talked about this the other day, Motivate is definitely different than the old.
It is.
But
It's
I
true.
think it's better. I personally think it's better. This one was actually a personal ask from Emily. She uses Motivate before she comes on camera, while she's creating her presentations and preparing to go on stage. And she said she wants something that's really literally going to motivate her, wake her up, get her going, get her brain moving. And we wanted to add in a couple extra ingredients. We have the spearmint, the orange, the lemongrass that really just kind of like give that extra punch, if you
Yeah.
will, as it's being diffused as you apply it topically.
And just in case anybody's worried, the lemongrass note is not apparent. I can't smell it at all. So I love Motivate, and it has a real peppermint kick in the old bottle. And I'm just like a peppermint freak. I love it. So, but I like this one better.
It's pretty good.
I really do. And you know what? Yesterday, when I was inhaling it out of a pilot diffuser up my nostrils, I'm like, this might be my new cocaine. Not that I have an old one to replace, but I was kind of tripping out on this one.
It's
And when
good.
I looked at your ingredient deck, I thought, wow, look at that triple header with the basil, the rosemary, and I can't read it. There's a third, coriander.
Yeah.
With all those in there, I think, so I came to you yesterday pretty sleep deprived. And so when you think of like your GABA levels and things that struggle with that, things like, anyways, I just felt like yesterday I probably really needed it. And it really, I was kind of sucking it up there.
Yeah. Well,
I love it.
I will say you came in, you were like, all right, let's do this. We'll smell these blends. You left, you're like, okay, let's go. Like you were
Yeah,
really
you
inhaling
could
that
see a change
motivation.
in me,
Yeah,
right?
really, there
It
was.
was,
It
I'm
pretty
gonna
incredible.
leave with more on today.
Oh, please do.
But
It's
I
one
really
even-
like it.
I even put some on before I came out here just to mentally wake up. And
Yes.
like you said, that rosemary, basil, coriander,
That's
those
a
are great
triple header.
brain
Yeah.
like ingredients.
So I think Emily's goals were achieved. And to Bailey's point, we got to get back out there. We got to gather the people. We got to be on our game. We got to speak to our trade and our offerings and make an impact. And so we need our brains working. And I think overall, before we even get to the cheer, again, I'm looking for impact more than I'm looking for anything. I'm more attached to impact than I am even aroma.
Mhm.
And because I'm so attached to affecting people for positive change and positive chemistry in their lives, I think we have more impactful blends looking at their chemical constituents.
that's incredible. I'm so glad that you see that because that was really our goal. And I love that that's coming across. So I'm grateful
And
that
that spearmint peppermint thing, it's happening. I'm smelling it.
Vibing with
Yeah,
that.
I'm
Good.
smelling it.
Good, awesome. Okay, and then last but certainly not least is cheer. And I will say, same with passion. Cheer is one that not everybody loves. It's an incredible blend. It has such incredible emotional benefits, but I feel like the anise, the black licorice can kind of be alienating. So some of you who may not be lovers of cheer yet, I think you definitely will be.
This one was a fun one to go through because admittedly, I wasn't the old cheer aroma. For some reason, it just didn't
Yeah, and that's okay.
impact me, but I actually really like this change as well. I found this to be, I think this was my second yesterday,
Yeah,
along with passion. I really like it. I like the changes. I'm trying to remember what you changed. Oh, I think the bergamota addition there. I was really smelling that note yesterday, and it was really, again, it felt good to my brain. I was most intrigued by how I felt inhaling cheer. I mean, passion is always like melt my heart, but I was most intrigued by how I felt kind of mentally and emotionally by inhaling the motivate and the cheer. And I felt that the cheer was more impactful than it even has been in the past with a better aroma.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
I'm so glad to hear that. It really is. I mean, one thing that I love about bergamot that you were talking about is that to me, it's a citrus. I mean, it is a citrus, but it's not like an invigorating, energy giving citrus like an orange or a lemon. It is like that kind of healthy, good brain energy.
Well, it's got different chemistry.
Yeah.
It's not your typical citrus. Sometimes we're like, I got 100 citruses. They're all the same. I'm just going to grab one of them. But bergamota is actually different. It actually has chemistry similar to oils like neroli, for example. And hey, part of where people are looking for more cheer in their life is they're looking for more self-love, right? They're looking for more self-confidence, more feeling good in their own skin. And that's one of bergamot's gifts to us, is just its ability to help us feel better about being me.
Yeah, well, uplifted. I mean, that's what this is the uplifting blend.
Totally.
So really, I think this is going to be a new favorite. I mean, same with passion. Like I said, I think we've converted some people to cheer, including, it sounds like
Including
Laura.
me. I'm a new convert.
pretty
And hey,
great.
with elevation gone, big tears,
I know.
then we need to lean harder into that cheer as that dependable blend for uplifting. So
Yeah.
I'm super happy with what you did with it.
Oh, good. I'm so glad.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're enjoying it. So I do have a couple questions for you. So we've gone through all of this, and I know we kind of talked through, but I think in general, do you feel like, and a question that I'm sure everybody's asking, do they smell the same or at least similar?
Yes and no.
Yeah.
I think the only one that I can attest that when I did my smell test for hours on end, it was the Serenity. I can't say that any of the rest of them smell the same, but I can say that most of them smell better to me
That's
across the
wonderful.
board. Okay.
Wonderful. Awesome.
Citrus Bliss is the only one because I smell the Litsea note that I can't say it's a better experience, but I think chemically it's going to be a better experience. You've taught us about it's going to be an aroma that's going to stick around. So I'm going to diffuse it at home and see what I think. And if I want to play with it, I'll add that tangerine and that vanilla to it.
Yeah. And I think that Litsea will really help hold that tangerine
Yeah.
in there and keep it a little bit more.
Here's one
vibrant,
thing.
so-
I'm a huge Litsea fan. Litsea is a powerful oil,
It's a good
and to
one.
have more of it in your life is never a bad thing.
Yeah, I agree. I love it. It's great. Okay. So is there, I mean, we kind of talked about some of the chemistry, some of the ingredients. Is there one that really stood out to you as you were kind of thinking through things yesterday?
I would say the two were the Rise and the Jasmine and the Passion. I felt like was a really good move. And then that triple header with the basil, rosemary, and coriander, just hitting it in like second place in that blend. So it doesn't smell like it so much, but it's there to like back up that initial aroma of the Motivate. I think it's going to make that super impactful for people and
Awesome.
actually getting the benefits that it's designed for.
That's incredible. And then, so what do you think? Because I was telling you yesterday, what we're really focusing on is the aromatic use, right? That's
Right.
what everyone says that they're using these for. So we wanted to really focus the aroma and make it smell beautiful, diffused. Do you
Well,
feel like we hit
I
that?
really enjoyed yesterday.
Yeah.
So I think aromatically, they're fantastic. I think they're beautiful.
Wonderful.
Again, I haven't had a chance to like put them into a room yet,
Mhm.
but I certainly did a lot of inhaling yesterday. And I'm actually really excited to try the Serenity because I think it's actually going to work even better.
Yeah.
I just have this hunch.
Well, I've had a personal experience with it. I feel like
That's
it's
what
been
you said,
working better.
yeah.
Yeah. And my husband, he, doesn't totally pay too much attention to the oils. He enjoys them, but he's like, hey, I feel like I've been sleeping better the last couple weeks. What's going on? It's like, actually, I've been using the new Serenity and I feel like it's helping us sleep better. We've really improved our sleep habits through using the new Serenity, adding the linalool, the coriander. So it's really exciting.
Yeah. More linalool in your life at the end of the day is always a good idea.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's great. Well, so just one thing that I wanted to touch on that I know we've been talking about throughout is the impact. So like we said, keeping the old just isn't an option, non-negotiable, because we really want to focus on improving that impact for vanilla, improving the aromatic benefits of these blends, and to increase our supplier scorecard. So just keep that in mind as you guys are thinking through these blends. Obviously, we'd love your feedback, just like we've, spoken with Laura about today. So please send us in your feedback. Please send us in your thoughts. We hope that you enjoy the blends as you get them in your hands. They will start to phase in from May 1st to about the end of the year. So you'll start to see all of these blends, including their touch versions from now until the end
Will
of
you kind of let
2022.
us know when those are showing up on the horizon so people know?
Yeah.
Because otherwise they're like, what am I smelling? The old one or the new one?
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, and they are new SKUs, but yes, so we will be posting on, your account managers will be reaching out, posting on the Facebook pages and stuff to
Great.
let you know, say,
Awesome.
hey, in the next couple weeks, the tricky part is we never have like a hard date with all of our amazing warehouses. So it'll say, hey, in the next couple weeks, you'll expect to start getting the new blend in your orders, and we'll be switching out SKUs and everything like that. So you'll see those new SKUs popping up in your back office.